Okay, in the meantime, this you really have to see. This weekend in Florida was the opening night of the much promoted and hyped tour of disgraced former Fox News superhero Bill O'Reilly interviewing disgraced former President Donald Trump. It was half empty. I mean, a genuine embarrassment. In this picture from the opening night in Sunrise, Florida, you can see that the floor seats are about 40% empty. Then they announced before the show started, if you have cheap seats in the upper decks, we're going to close the upper decks. Come on down and sit in the lower level for free. You don't even have to pay anything extra. Sales were so terrible that tickets were available right up until the show started for $3 per ticket in many sections. Day two, not much better. We have a video of the event right before it started. And as you can see, very, very light turnout. On the way out, some hilarious interviews with people. Here's an interview with a woman who went to the event. And she said, I love Trump as much as anybody, but he kind of goes off on tangents and repeats things that we already know.
Well, I thought Bill did an excellent job of trying to steer the questions that he had prepared to more of an historical nature, because it's very difficult. I love President Trump, but he can go a bit off on tangents and perhaps repeat some of the things that we all know. But Bill tried to make it a little different and make it more of a history tour.
Imagine trying to ask Trump historical questions. He knows nothing about history. He barely even understands. He's been tricked into thinking certain countries that don't exist are countries. Remember when he mispronounced countries that don't exist? African countries, etc. Here's another interview with a guy leaving the show. I don't know if this was the Sunday show or the night before. He says the media covered up all of the good things Trump did. So it was good to hear it from Trump directly. You can imagine what that sounded like. And he also said it was great that Bill O'Reilly was the interviewer, because Bill O'Reilly is a centrist who doesn't take sides. Are you familiar with Bill O'Reilly, dude? Take a look.
Since he didn't have a truly fair time in office, we heard more of the negative stuff on media. We never heard the good stuff he was doing, and so it was really good to hear from a person like Bill O'Reilly, who was very middle of the row. He didn't really pick sides.
Is this guy really unaware? I mean, he looks young. Maybe he really doesn't know that Bill O'Reilly was, for a time, the most prominent conservative on Fox News. He ultimately lost his show, sexual harassment allegations, all sorts of horrible stuff. But for 20 years or 18 years, he was the top conservative voice of Fox News and was considered up there with Rush Limbaugh. Doesn't take sides. I mean, it's just a fantasy world. So what can we read into the lack of turnout? I would read very little into it, quite frankly. I think the reason that a lot of people didn't go to this show is, number one, early on, even cheap seats were selling for $100. A lot of people just don't have that kind of money to go sit in the nosebleeds and listen to Trump talk to Bill O'Reilly. So I think the early pricing was a factor. Two, you can love Trump and hate Democrats and plan to vote for Trump and just be tired of hearing the same nonsense from him over and over again. So the very same people who might just get bored at his rallies, we covered Trump's rallies when he did them. And even the people on the stage were bored. You would have a guy checking his phone, tapping his wife, clearly saying, "Can we go?" Some people would fall asleep. Others would just leave. You can be bored by that. They're still voting for Trump at the end of the day. So I don't think the lack of turnout is a sign that we can safely look away from the threat of what might happen in 22 and 24 and say, we don't have to worry about these Trumpians. I think we do, but it's also really boring to listen to Trump repeat the same thing hour after hour after hour. I think that's as far as I would go in reading into this.